Hello and welcome to my channel. If you are new, my name is Tammy and this is the Tamlyn Long Reset Method. This is my What I Eat in a Month November 2025 vlog / food diaries. It's the 1st of December now, I'm just filming this intro. A little bit of information about me is that I am 36 years old. I'm South African, but I've been living in the UK for the last 3 months with my husband. No pets at the moment, no children at the moment, and I just enjoy food. These videos are filled with what I eat in a day. At the end of each day, I count my calories, not because I'm in a calorie deficit, but it is because I'm interested to know and I would like to bring down my daily calories slowly. I think that back in May when I first started filming these videos, I was consuming up to 3,000 calories a day, which is a lot, and I was wondering why I was putting on weight. At the moment my calories are usually around 2,200 and I do often daily walks which burn about 390 calories. I document all of this because it is holding myself accountable and also giving you inspiration and ideas. I also thoroughly enjoy watching what I eat videos, so if you're a content creator, please let me know. I want to know what you're eating. I care about it so much. Food is fun, food is interesting. It is Saturday, the 1st of November, and for breakfast, a bowl of cereal. Off to the post office to ship off my first order. Thank you, Anya. It's still Saturday the 1st of November. Paul and I are back from our big grocery shop. Let me show you what we got. We've got 5 liters of milk here. That's a 3 liter and a 2 liter. Celery, cucumbers, red pepper, bananas, 2 little batches of mozzarella, some baby mushrooms, some cherry tomatoes, some jacket potatoes, some rye vita, chocolate cereal, ground coffee, frozen corn, frozen peas, more eggs, some salted crackers, some orange juice, 3 bags of Tesco's tortilla chips. Love the ingredients other than the, I think it's sunflower oil, yes, and rapeseed oil. Everything else is really good in here. I just use citric acid. Anyways, 5 bags in a big bag for Paul to take to lunch of the chips. Bought some red wine from the Western Cape. This is for the beef soup that I want to make this week. Some spaghetti. 2 packs of pastrami for Paul's lunch. Beef for the soup. And then 2 packs of mince because I want to make another cottage pie. It's my go-to meal at the moment. And a chili con carne. Then over here we've got 2 kilograms of white sugar. I've ordered a SCOBY on Etsy that will be arriving quite soon, and that will be, the sugar is to feed the SCOBY for kombucha. 2 of the Tesco bolognese sauces, some basil pesto, some little sweets to make cookies, some butter to make cookies. Then Paul and I will be eating these today. He's got this American hot stone-baked pizza, and then I just like the plain cheese and tomato, and I like to put olives on it. And these 2 are for the freezer for me for during the week for lunch. We have got a bag of mini Kit Kats for Paul to take to work, 3 big slabs of chocolate, and some red onions. And that is the big shop. Here behind everything I've got the apple cider vinegars busy fermenting. Cover that up, keep it cozy. Give or take 100 pounds for the food shop. That is 106 pounds in total, but I did buy a glass storage container for food with a lid and some plasters, so take off about 10 pounds. Just gonna put some olives onto this pizza, and I'm having that with a spaghetti carbonara for supper / lunch, and then Paul's having a beef lasagna with his meaty pizza. Great news, my SCOBY has arrived. I just ordered it online. So we are going to start some kombucha. It is Sunday and I've just come back from a walk, Sunday the 2nd, and I am going to be meal prepping. That's the washing machine. And I'm going to be meal prepping for the week. First up, I'm making a double portion of this chili con carne. We are short 150 grams of mince because I actually need 900 grams, but so be it. Supper this evening is a baked potato with chili con carne and some grated cheese. It's a cold, rainy Monday morning, and for breakfast I'm having 2 boiled eggs and 2 slices of toast with butter and Marmite. Yesterday I made a chickpea and bulgur wheat salad, and I made a pesto pasta salad for the week. Paul really enjoys salads for lunch at work, and I would like to keep it interesting. And for my lunch today I am also having a bowl of the pesto pasta salad. Dinner this evening is cauliflower with cheese sauce, some chips, and a piece of steak. It's Tuesday morning, and for breakfast I am having scrambled eggs with tomato sauce. It's 2 scrambled eggs, and my toast is in the oven busy toasting. And my toast is ready. I've ordered a French press on Amazon, I think on Saturday, and it hasn't been delivered yet. So I am now on my 3rd Bella Rum cappuccino sachet. They're 73 calories each. But it's a cold, miserable day, and I love coffee in general, and the sweetness of these sachets is really good. And I just hope that my French press gets delivered soon. I've only got 2 left. For lunch, I'm having a bowl of cereal. For a 3 p.m. afternoon snack, I'm having some more of my pesto pasta salad. Having a Kit Kat chunky mini. It's going on 5 p.m. but it's so dark outside. And I'm just waiting for Paul to come home, and I am going to have this packet of kettle chips so long. For supper, I've made bolognese with spaghetti, and then I also made a beef soup for the week. Supper this evening is a plate of spaghetti bolognese. For dessert, a half portion of these ready-made churros. I think that we got these from Lidl. Breakfast this morning is my last 2 slices of sourdough toast with butter and Marmite and 2 boiled eggs. I am making this Tesco chocolate brownie mix now. And I am having some of my bulgur wheat salad for lunch. This is what I made on Sunday. And then earlier this morning I made a mistake. I was making 1 loaf of bread, and I accidentally put double the amount of water in. So I had to make a double batch of bread, and then I only had this dish and it started exploding over the edges. So I had to separate the dough, and now I have 2 huge loaves of bread. However, the recipe did say that I can let the dough continue to, I don't know, do its thing in the fridge for up to 3 days to develop even more flavor. So I'll make 1 today and 1 in 3 days time. And I'm having a Kit Kat chunky mini. and some carbs. And a glass of orange juice from Tesco. And I'm having another one of the cappuccino sachets. It's late afternoon, 4:10, and I am editing a video. This evening is my beautiful beef soup and homemade bread with butter. Dessert this evening is the Tesco chocolate brownie with some Cornish clotted cream. Breakfast this morning is 2 boiled eggs, and then instead of Jason sourdough, this is my homemade bread from last night. I am fully aware that it's not rising properly. So the breads that I've been making have been no knead breads. I do still have one more dough in the fridge to bake. But I think going forward, I'm going to start kneading bread. I've been avoiding that. I don't know why it terrifies me. I'm having something different for lunch today. It is tuna mayonnaise, which I actually made with a little bit of Greek yogurt and a little bit of normal mayonnaise and some gherkins, with 10 of these Tesco sea salt crackers. Supper this evening is a Tesco steak and ale pie that I've just cut open to let the heat escape, with some peas and corn and some French fries. It's Friday morning and I'm out of eggs, so I am having 4 slices of my homemade bread with butter and Marmite for breakfast, although it is going on 12 o'clock. For lunch, I am having cereal. For my afternoon snack, I'm having the last bit of these tortilla chips and a mini Kit Kat. Dinner this evening is a 1/4 pounder and cheese. Breakfast this morning, cereal. Paul and I are back from our weekly grocery shop, so let me show you what we got. This came to £99.45. We've got 6 5-litre waters, 3 3-litre milks, 3 butters. I am really into baking at the moment. Some mature cheddar cheese, 2 small packs of mozzarella, some double cream and some cream cheese. Got a bag of frozen chips, a pizza for Paul, some puff pastry for a pie I'd like to make this week, 2 bags of the red lentil pasta, the creamy chicken and chestnut mushroom pies for the freezer, 10 eggs, another bolognese sauce, shaving cream for Paul, pesto for that pesto salad, it's a new favorite, some cereal, a pack of mints, 2 cucumbers, some red onions, frozen cauliflower, leeks and potatoes for the pie that I'd like to make, some bananas, some cherry tomatoes, some dishes to make some food in advance to freeze, another glass dish for the same purpose, a bag of coffee, 2 avocados, some new tortilla chips, lunchbox Kit Kats, a bottle of wine for a meal I'd like to make this week, 3 spices. I've got parsley, ground cumin and mixed herbs, some vanilla extract, 2 Tabascos, and I think that's it. Very late lunch and very early supper is homemade nachos, and then instead of sour cream, that is actually plain yogurt with Tabasco on. It's Sunday morning and I am just finishing off the very last of the bulgur wheat salad that I made last week Sunday. So this lasted very well in the fridge for 7 days, and the basil pesto salad was finished really quickly. And this is the state of the kitchen at the moment. I have just baked that bread. The other half of that dough was actually in the fridge for 4 days. I have made some pasta because that is going to be for a tuna pasta salad that I'm making for the week. And Paul and I just need to pop out to the shop to get a few more ingredients, specifically red peppers, and I will come back and carry on. One Starbucks cookie and a gingerbread latte. This is the tuna pasta salad that I made yesterday. For the dressing, it is plain yogurt mixed with mayonnaise, and then inside we've got some red onions, some red bell pepper, some cucumber, and some gherkins, and some corn. It is 11:30 on Monday morning, and for breakfast / early lunch I'm having a bowl of my tuna mayo pasta. I have literally been craving this. I've been on a quest to make the most perfect homemade cookies. These are so dark because I used a very dark sugar by accident instead of a light brown sugar. I have eaten about 6 of these, and also I have had a glass of my homemade kombucha that I forgot to film. That is a little bit of SCOBY at the bottom over there. This kombucha came out quite vinegary, and I need to just work on it a little bit more. I think that I need to put more sugar in to ferment. Anyways, it wasn't bad. It's good for you. This evening I have made creamy garlicky prawns to go on some mashed potatoes. It's the first time I've attempted this recipe, so I really hope it turns out well. It is Tuesday morning and I've just come back from my walk. I went for an early morning walk. It was still dark and now I'm hungry. So cereal. And I'm having one of my homemade cookies. They're okay. I've eaten 6 of those biscuits for breakfast. It's now going on 2 p.m. and I'm having 2 very sad looking boiled eggs. I hate it when they get all messed up when you try to peel them. For supper this evening, I have defrosted these 2 rump steaks. This expires 5th of September, but it has been frozen since like August. Time to use it. And then last week I made cheese sauce, and this, okay, I'm not thrilled with the Ziploc bag, but this is the leftovers. Thank you, me, because I'm going to be making some cauliflower cheese sauce in the oven. I've already boiled the cauliflower. It was a bag of frozen cauliflower, and I mean, look how much water comes out. It's so much water and it's still dripping. And then also we had 2 very ripe bananas, not that those are far from it, so I made some banana bread. Supper this evening is some cauliflower with cheese sauce, some french fries, and a steak. For breakfast this morning, I am going to be slicing this homemade bread this way, and I'm going to put some Mrs. Ball's chutney on and some thinly sliced cheddar cheese, and finish it off with some tomatoes and pop it into the oven. Step 1, the chutney. This might be a little bit too much chutney for me, but okay, that looks perfect actually. Next, I've sliced 3 slices of cheddar. I just want to weigh it. Perfect. Literally sliced 2 cherry tomatoes into 4 pieces. I've topped with salt, pepper and Italian mixed herbs. This smells heavenly, but the tomatoes fell off. I just scooped the tomatoes back on. Does this not look amazing for breakfast? It's Wednesday mid-morning. I went for my walk this morning, but I do have a headache that has cropped up and I think it's coming from my shoulders. So I'm not feeling great, and today is a big cooking day for me. The tuna mayo pasta salad that I made on Sunday has gone down so well. Paul and I have enjoyed it every day. And today Paul's lunch is the last bit of that tuna salad, so I need to make a new salad today. And I was thinking of making a version of the bulgur wheat salad that I made the previous Sunday, but instead of putting the chickpeas whole into the salad, I want to make a hummus. The thing is, I don't have a blender, and I usually use a fork, so I might attempt to make a chunky hummus to go alongside that salad, and then also I'm going to prepare some fried up halloumi to go on the side so that Paul's at least got some protein with that lunch, and then also for myself for tomorrow, so I'll make 2 portions of it. And then one of my favorite YouTubers is Sammy Louise, and she made a cheesy leek and potato pie, so I wrote down the ingredients and the steps, and I'd like to make that for supper tonight and then halve the portion and put the other half in the freezer. So the logistics of doing that have me a little stumped, because you need to pinch pleat the pie pastry. Anyways, I'm gonna get on with it despite the headache, and I'll show you the results. I am giving you an update on what's going on. Here is the bulgur wheat. I made 1 cup. I think this might be a bit too much, but we'll see how I go. Over here I've got about 1 kilogram of potatoes boiling for the potato and leek pie. And then over here my coffee grounds. I'm also going to be boiling these chickpeas. I've heard somewhere on YouTube, most likely, that if you boil your canned chickpeas for a little bit, they just get extra soft. And considering that I'm going to be blending these up by hand, I want them as soft as possible. And an extra step that I would not usually do is I'm just removing the skins. I think that once they've boiled, I'll get a few more skins out. My next step is to start dicing up the veg to go into the salad. Something I've also started doing since I've got this set of stainless steel measuring spoons is scraping out the seeds from inside the cucumber. And I do this because the salad is going to be in the fridge for a few days and I hate a soggy salad, so just removing this section here really helps. Another step is to salt them and leave them on the side just for the water to be drawn out. So these will be flavorful and not so soggy. Love it. The next update, I have chopped up the cucumber, chopped up the yellow pepper, chopped up 20 olives with the bulgur wheat, and then I've also chopped up 1 small red onion. I've just got it soaking in some water because I like the flavor of onion, but I hate the smell of onion. I am thinking possibly that the orange pepper should go in here. Yes. Okay, so orange pepper is next. The potatoes have boiled and the chickpeas have boiled. I'm just going to let them cool a little bit more, but you can see I am pulling off more of those skins. Something that I do as well while I'm cooking is I clean as I go. I clean in sections, I dirty a whole bunch of things, prepare a whole bunch of things, and then wash them and pack them away. So this is just what it looks like in my kitchen right now. I have already started drying and packing away this morning's dishes. here are the dishes from now. The chickpeas are boiled and I'm just letting them cool a bit and then I'll start mashing them. This is just a whole big bag of my veggie scraps. That onion was rotting in my cupboard. That is so disgusting. I'm gonna wash this. I will clean the stovetop. And then I did actually prepare the orange pepper as well. So the salad is pretty much good to go. I need to decide if I'm going to dress it with some olive oil and balsamic vinegar, or if I am literally going to make a big portion of the hummus and maybe mix in some plain yogurt. Oh, I've got cherry tomatoes. I forgot about those. I leave the cherry tomatoes on the windowsill because even though I specifically look for vine ripened tomatoes, I like to leave them in the sun as much as possible after I've bought them so that they can ripen just a little bit more. These are washed already, but they're just sitting here. They don't go off sitting in the sun. They are perfectly fine. Okay, not that there's much sun. I mean, this is a British winter, so anyway. Little kitchen update. The dishes are done. And look, this is working, but in reality, I am not having a very good time. But it is working. The thing is that it's extremely dry, so it's time for me to add the olive oil and the lemon juice. I don't have tahini, but I do have cumin. Yeah. So this is just my version of a hummus, a chunky hummus, but my arm is sore now. So there is salt, pepper, the juice of half a lemon, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and about a half a teaspoon of cumin in here, and it's looking so much better. I think this will be a lot easier for me to mash up further. This looks like chunky hummus and it smells like it. Now to taste it. Okay. I've put way too much lemon juice in here. I think I need to put more cumin. Is this sacrilege? A teaspoon of sugar and maybe like 2 tablespoons of plain yogurt. I don't know about the sugar. I did not put sugar in. I put another teaspoon of cumin in and then 2 tablespoons of plain yogurt. I messed up by putting in the juice of a whole lemon, and then it's also, I put in 4 tablespoons of olive oil because it was still dry when I put the 2 tablespoons and half a lemon. This could really use some tahini. But as far as homemade dressings go, I think this is pretty good. I'm going to give it another taste test now. It's perfect. This is delicious. In South Africa, at Woolworths, there's the bulgur wheat salad, the ready-made bulgur wheat salad. This tastes identical to that dressing. Holy moly, it's so good. Yum. Something else I've also started doing is keeping my leftover lemon bits in vinegar. Apparently if you leave it for 2 weeks, it makes this really nice smelling, very strong cleaning detergent. So, chopped up in there. Looking good. Smells fresh. That is looking amazing. I still need to just fry up the halloumi to go with that. And I still need to make my leek and potato pies. But for sustenance, it's 2:30. I am going to have a naked bar because I am so hungry. Peanut delight. I realized, why don't I just have this without the halloumi cheese for lunch? So I've made myself a bowl of my new bulgur wheat salad, and it looks amazing. And I am having a slice of my homemade banana bread. I am finally ready to show you the finished product as the sun sets. So this is Paul's lunch for tomorrow. Here's my halloumi just cooling. I'll put it in the fridge as well. And then for him, I sliced up some tomatoes and put salt and pepper on top. So his lunch will be that with the hummus. And then this is my leek and potato pie. It was actually so easy to make. I hope that it comes out and tastes well. There was some extra pastry left, so I just wrote yum. And then there is milk on top, sort of like an egg wash. It's a milk wash. Supper this evening is the leek and potato pie with some peas on the side. This is smelling amazing and it looks amazing. I hope it tastes amazing. Dessert this evening is the last of the Angel Delight puddings, and from here on out I will be making them homemade from scratch. It is 7 o'clock in the morning, maybe 7:30, and I'm having a bowl of cereal before I go for my walk because maybe I needed to eat something yesterday and that's why I got a headache. I'm just going to be checking my emails and eating this, then going for my walk. For lunch today, I am having my homemade hummus with my bulgur wheat salad and the halloumi that I fried up yesterday. I've just chopped it up and I will be mixing this all into a mush. And I'm having a salted caramel naked bar as a snack. It's going on 3 p.m. while I try to clean out this old candle. I've got some beeswax that I'd like to make a new candle with. I'll let you know how that goes. Whoops. And a cup of tea. I have just heated up the other half of the potato and leek pie. It was delicious. The only thing that I would have done differently is maybe saute the leeks beforehand to soften them because there were some hard chunky bits. But other than that, delicious. I know it looks a bit burnt there, but don't worry about that. And supper this evening is the last of the cheesy potato and leek pie with a rump steak and some peas and corn. Breakfast this morning is 2 boiled eggs and 2 slices of my homemade bread. For supper this evening, I have prepared some of these Tesco slow cooked barbecue chicken wings and some of these Tesco slow cooked Chinese style barbecue ribs. Mine, Paul's. I don't really like this kind of food, so I'm just going to test it out, but I do love those french fries. And for dessert, Paul and I got these donuts from a bakery in town called Mortimer's. It's Saturday morning and for breakfast I'm having burnt toast. Got this sourdough bread yesterday from a bakery in town called Mortimer's. We also got their donut yesterday and it was a bit stale, so I don't really recommend going there. Then 2 boiled eggs and some baked beans. It is going on lunchtime, but for breakfast on this rainy Sunday, I am having 2 oat cookies with chocolate, 2 digestive cookies with chocolate, and a strawberry donut. That ended up being quite a mess with a lot of uncertainty about what to do with the fermented apples, and I thought that all 4 jars would fit into the one, which was not the case. So now I've got 2 portions of vinegar, and I am thinking they need to be stored in a cool, dry place like a pantry, which I don't have. So I'm thinking of putting them on top of the fridge and wrapping a blanket around them again. And then they need a minimum of 1 month for the second fermentation, but 3 to 4 months is better. So you'll hear from me again soon. Soonish. My starter supper this evening is the last of my hummus with the last of my bulgur wheat salad. For supper this evening, it is a plate of nachos. It is Monday morning, probably 10:30ish, and I've come back from my walk and I've had coffee and now I'm making breakfast, and this is the last of the Mrs. Ball's chutney. Paul and I got 2 bottles when we were in Swansea at the beginning of last month. It's a very sad situation. Anyways, for breakfast, I am making my favorite at the moment. You know I go through favorites, which is chutney on sourdough bread, underneath some cheddar cheese, and I'm going to slice up some cherry tomatoes and melt the cheese and the tomatoes and make toasted cheese and tomato bread. My breakfast is ready. I also boiled 2 eggs to go along with this, and I am looking forward to this. It is the afternoon, and while I am not eating this now, I am making my leek and potato pie again. And remember I said I wanted to soften the leek first, so I have softened it in 2 grams of butter and a 1/4 cup of white wine, and it smells so good. There's the potato, and here is the mix. I'm going to just mix these all together, and then I'm actually making freezer meals for tonight. I'll show you in a second. These potatoes are for supper tonight. This is going to be that beautiful creamy garlic prawn and mash dish that I made last week. I suspect I might have used the wrong potatoes because they were really soft, so this pie filling is a lot mushier than the first time I made it. I'm sure it's still going to taste good. One final detail about my pies is that I am using the Tesco Finest Ready Rolled All Butter Puff Pastry. The other puff pastries are made with margarine, which I despise, and while it is made with butter, which I'm so grateful for and happy about, there is still potassium sorbate in here, so the ingredients is better, but it's not going to be the same as if I were to make this at home. On my to-do list is to learn how to make puff pastry. These are the 2 pie fillings and then the puff pastry is literally enough for 2 of these exact size dishes. I'm so thrilled for that. Here are my 2 leek and potato pies prepared, and I have just put a little bit of milk on top for when they go into the oven, and now I'm going to put the lid on. I've got 2 of these lids, and then I'm going to freeze them. There's my 2 leek and potato pies in the freezer. I also just wrapped some cling wrap around it just in case. Now I'm moving on to dinner, and I was just about to start marinating these prawns, but I noticed a lot of them still have the vein in, so that's a bit gross. I'm going to quickly devein these prawns. My prawns are deveined. This is 275 grams of prawns, and they are now marinating in salt, pepper, garlic, and a tablespoon of olive oil. Supper this evening is my favorite at the moment: mashed potatoes with garlic creamy prawns. It's Tuesday morning and breakfast is the same as yesterday. The chutney on the sourdough bread with some melted cheese and cherry tomatoes and 2 boiled eggs. For lunch, I'm having 2 chocolate-coated oaties and 2 chocolate-coated digestives. And I am having a bag of Paul's work chips. The ingredients in here are great, except for the sunflower oil or rapeseed oil. It's just 2 other ingredients. For supper this evening, I have taken out one of my leek and potato pies to defrost. Yes, I know I only made them yesterday, but I wanted to test this out as soon as possible. It is defrosted now, and I'm about to put it in the oven for half an hour at 160 degrees. Let's see what happens. That looks great. I forgot to film it before I cut it, but it's just come out of the oven, and I had it in the oven for half an hour on 160 and then another half an hour at 200 degrees, and it looks amazing. And supper this evening is 4 fish fingers with some frozen peas and corn and a portion of my potato and leek pie. It's Wednesday morning and I'm having the same thing for a 3rd day in a row. It is sourdough with chutney, cheddar cheese and cherry tomatoes and 2 boiled eggs. Don't worry, this is the last time I'm having this because those are the last of the cherry tomatoes. It is Wednesday, it's 20 to 12. I have done yoga, I have showered, I have put makeup on, tied my hair back, I have eaten breakfast, and now I am going to start cooking. It's a big cooking day for me. Let me show you what's going on. I have got YouTube open because I like to watch something while I am cooking. Here's a kilogram of potatoes. There's my egg peels from breakfast. I am going to be boiling a kilogram of potatoes. Then I've got some frozen chopped up onions and celery that I made probably a week or 2 ago in preparation for cottage pie. I'm making cottage pie today, so I've got the big cast iron pot out. And then for Paul's lunch for tomorrow, I'm just going to make a small bulgur wheat salad. So I've got this little pot over here. I need to quickly rinse this to get this going, then peel the potatoes and get them going, and then also start frying up the onions and celery. A little update, my bulgur wheat is cooked, my potatoes are cooking, and the mince is in. I've thrown in some frozen peas and frozen carrots as well as some dark soy sauce and some sugar, and now I'm going to add in this bolognese sauce. I didn't specifically buy the no added sugar, however, whatever. There is also lots of salt and pepper in here, as well as cumin and some cinnamon. The next update is that this is simmering away beautifully. Bulgur wheat is still ready and the potatoes are ready. I've got some salt, pepper, butter and milk inside, and I'll just be mashing those up. And this is the food finished. So in here is bulgur wheat, cucumber, red pepper, gherkins, feta and olives. I'll make a separate dressing on the side. And then tonight's supper for the freezer, and an extra portion for the freezer as well. I've also just made a very small batch of homemade shampoo. I am testing out recipes. This is recipe number 4 that I'm trying out. So it's Castile soap, deionized water, jojoba oil. This is rose essential oil, a little bit of lemon essential oil, and some rosemary essential oil. and also a tablespoon of corn flour. This is my empty shampoo bottle, so I'm just going to pour the liquid into the shampoo bottle for the shower. I like it because it has a squeezy nozzle. For lunch, I am having 2 of the OT biscuits with chocolate while I'm editing a video. It's cold. I think it's -2. It's like a freezing cold winter wonderland here. Everything is covered in frost. My footsteps are crunchy. It's such a great experience. Look at this. Frozen over. I am back from my walk. The sun is finally up and I am just going to have some chocolate coated biscuits for breakfast and a cup of coffee. This is my 3rd cup of coffee. I've already had 2 cups of coffee at around 5 a.m. this morning with condensed milk in. It's my new favorite, but it's so high in calories. I think that my condensed milk days are coming to an end very soon. My lunch today is 2 boiled eggs and 1 mini pizza with some olives chopped up on top. Supper this evening is corn on the cob with a piece of rump steak and some french fries. It's Friday morning, going on 9 a.m. I've come back from my beautiful, crisp, frosty morning walk. I love going when it's so cold out. And then for breakfast, I just toasted this bread very lightly and fried 2 eggs. And also, this is butter, not margarine. It's Saturday morning and breakfast is 2 fried eggs, 1 pork banger and a slice of toast with butter. Breakfast this morning, choco hoops. It's Sunday afternoon and I am busy prepping some bacon and pork bangers for a casserole dish that I'm making for supper. It's the first time recipe. And then I'm also frying up some mince. I'm going to be making this chili con carne for the freezer. Paul likes to have nachos on the weekend, so at least this will always be there. I'm just looking at the ingredients, and chili, dried onion, cumin, paprika, cayenne, coriander, dried garlic and white pepper. So I think that this will be the last sachet that I buy, and then I will just be making it all from scratch. I just wanted to bring your attention to canned tomatoes. When I was at Tesco on Friday, I noticed that the ingredients in the Tesco brand and a few other brands were 60 and 65% tomatoes in a can of tomatoes. So 35 and 40% is other stuff. Is that not madness? Anyway, so this brand, also found at Tesco, is 98% tomatoes. So I got these instead. I really just think that it's important for us to be reading the food labels. And then my secret spice, I always put cinnamon in. I absolutely love cinnamon and it just gives something special. Here are 4 portions of the chili con carne that I'm going to be freezing. In here I've got some chicken stock and white wine to make the casserole. I've got the beans draining in the sink. And the final ingredients is 1 leek and 2 cloves of garlic. For lunch, I am having 1.5 donuts from Lidl. Supper this evening is butter bean and sausage casserole. I made it with some garlic, leeks, white wine and chicken stock. It's Monday morning and my breakfast is 3 slices of sourdough toast, lightly toasted, and 2 boiled eggs. For lunch, I am having one of the Tesco's mini pizzas and I put 6 olives on top, broken in half. Supper this evening is a creamy mushroom and bacon pasta. Good morning, it's Tuesday morning, and while I am not having breakfast yet, I am going to be refilling my facial toner. So it's just a mix of 50% rose water and 50% witch hazel. I've been using this toner for years, so a toner just balances I think it balances the pH of your skin, so you are less prone to breakouts, and it's so easy and affordable when you are not buying shop bought, when you're just making it from scratch. Done. It's going on 11 a.m. and for breakfast I'm having a bowl of cereal. For lunch today I am having my favorite, Jason sourdough with some chutney. Yes, the chutney is still going. Some cheese and some tomatoes while I'm editing a video. Supper this evening is some defrosted beef soup. This is the last portion. And 2 bacon home bread rolls. And for dessert, a little double chocolate muffin. It is Wednesday morning. It's actually noon. I've already had a very early morning walk in the frost, and then I had some choco hoops for breakfast, and then I had 4 chocolate digestive biscuits, and now I am editing a video while I have my favorite for the time being, which is the chutney, cheese and tomato. Supper this evening is prawns and mashed potato. Thursday morning, it's a bit gloomy outside. Breakfast this gloomy Thursday morning is cereal, and then I'll do the dishes. For lunch today, I am having some tuna pasta salad that I made the other day for Paul's lunch. And now I'm just having a bowl of the Tesco brand cheesy nacho chips. Taste time, and there is little that I love more than a freshly baked good that's still crispy on the outside. Yum. For supper this evening, I am preparing these creamy chicken and chestnut mushroom pies with some French fries, and I'll do some veg on the side. I'm just having some toast for lunch. I have snacked on some cheesy nacho chips, and I've also snacked on a little portion of the tuna pasta salad. Today's a snacky day. This evening is a small portion of homemade nachos. And dessert is donuts from Lidl. Breakfast this morning is 2 freshly baked bread rolls with some baked beans, 2 boiled eggs, a pork banger, and some bacon. For supper this evening, I'm having a mini Tesco's margarita pizza, and then I've added some olives to it, and then also a little side salad. It's a nice warm Sunday morning, and for breakfast I'm having Marmite toast and boiled eggs. For supper this evening, I pulled out one of the cottage pies that I made during the month of November, and it's just come out the oven. I sprinkled some cheese on top, which melted so beautifully. It smells so good. And then we also have this little salad to go on the side, little as in L-I-D-L. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, or even better, subscribe. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. All the best. Bye for now.